Testing 1 2. Okay, levels look good. Hello, everyone. It's your boy, Kenny Sprite, here with my lovely lady. Did you figure out a name for yourself yet?
I'm gonna stick with BabyBrie. I think that's cute.
All right. We're here with BabyBrie, and one thing you didn't know about my lovely lady, BabyBrie, is, see, she's new to the whole anime scene. She hasn't watched a whole bunch of different genres of anime. She's watched a little bit of Naruto, didn't really like it. She's watched Hero Academia, thought that was great. She hasn't watched any Samurai Champloo or any of that. She's new. She's budding. She's blooming. She's watched Sailor Moon. How do you feel about Sailor Moon?
10 out of 10, my favorite anime.
See, so Sailor Moon was really what roped her in, but we took her to the big leagues. We took her to the big journey of tears and laughter that is One Piece. And we decided we'd do like a little talk about each and every saga. We'd watch the movies, any of the specials, maybe barring some of the like unimportant specials, of course. Like if you're a fan, you know what I'm talking about. But without spoiling anything, BabyBrie and I are gonna talk about what happened for this first season, this East Blue Saga. And just to keep in line with everything, we'll go in order from the episode where Luffy first sets foot to head out to be the Pirate King, all the way up to Logtown. Now, day one, from the jump, we see Luffy on Alvida's ship. We see Kobe first, just scrubbing the deck, and we see Luffy come out of a barrel halfway through the episode and bust up all the pirates that kept Kobe hostage, punched Alvida in the face, and told Kobe he's gonna be the king of the pirates, and Kobe's just looking at him astonished. Then the next episode, they go a town over, they meet up with Zoro, find out that he's been strapped to a pole for the past 3 weeks, and he has 7 days left to go before he's fulfilled his verbal contract with one of the Navy men's sons to protect one of the little village girls. That was a cool thing. And it's really where you find out that the Navy isn't as good of a people as they seem, when you find out the Navy man's son was just going to kill Zoro anyway, just because he felt like it, and he hurt his dog bad. Just based off of that, those 2 episodes, how'd you feel?
I think it's hilarious that very early on you see that the Navy/Marines are kind of just a joke. Also, it's now that we've finished the first big arc, I think that's what you said, right? We finished the first big arc. That you also see just how strong as well Zoro starts off from the very jump. That's insane. Yeah, those are my thoughts for the first 2 eps.
I appreciate that. And it's a cool thing. We find out that not a lot of people know what a devil fruit is in the East Blue. Apparently it's not really a thing people see that often until we go on to the next island where Buggy is. But before that we have a little flashback about the red-haired Shanks, and in Luffy's time spent with him and his pirate crew, the talk and the journey that pushed Luffy into becoming the pirate that he is today. Do you have any thoughts about that?
The flashback is like very cute, and like understandably, like if you kind of like grew up in that kind of environment, it makes sense that you would also want to be that. It's like a positive experience. I'm just very excited for him to meet Shanks again, and have them duke it out.
Right. I agree. That is something to look forward to. I believe that you're gonna definitely see some interesting things as we go along. That's all I can say about that. But after that, we head on to the island where Buggy is, and he's basically taken control of the entire island, and everyone's basically run out except for the mayor and one dead dude's dog who's been protecting his shop this entire time, making sure it's been safe, and it was really a wholesome event. We ended up seeing the Straw Hat Pirates, literally just Zoro and Luffy fight against the entire Buggy Pirates. Well, the co-vice captains, as well as Buggy the Clown himself, where it is revealed after Buggy takes a quick glance at Luffy's straw hat that Buggy and Shanks used to be on the same pirate ship. It's really, really good world building to just kind of throw that in there.
It's a weird coincidence as well.
Isn't it? I feel like this author is he does a lot with just coincidences, but the way it works out, you never think it's like pulled out of thin air. It's always something that's been planned the entire time, and that's the epic thing about it. You'll notice more of them as we go along. I assure you.
Oh boy. We meet Nami first, right?
We do meet Nami during Buggy's Island, and she's been around from episode 1, really, but Straw Hat actually converses with her and actually like stumbles upon her at this island where Buggy the Clown is. Buggy tries to force her to blast Luffy away with a cannon after he gets captured, and she refuses to do so because she's a good person. She hates pirates. You find out she despises pirates. In her mind, they're horrible people. We find out she's a cat burglar who only steals from pirates because of that sentiment. And it's a little bit of world building from there. We end up blasting away the Buggy Pirates, going on to Usopp's Island, where...
Wait, can we just talk about the dog scene? That
of course.
made me so emotional. I was not expecting it to make me that emotional, because just, a dog guarding the shop. But it was so sad, and especially just like his relationship with Luffy as well. Like at first he was all, ooh, growl, stay away from this shop, and then Luffy helped him, and he was like, I appreciate you, and helped him also as well for the battle there. So it was wholesome.
I agree. The dog scene was one of the tear jerkers for sure. I want to say that might have been like what pulled a couple of viewers in on their first journey, like going through the show, like just the way that the author writes it so that you can feel the pain that like an animal is going through, or just like somebody that you think you wouldn't care for, but all of a sudden the scene is shifted, and now you can't help but to care for that person, or that character rather. But yeah, the dog scene was insane. The fact that Buggy stabbed through Luffy's hat was quite crazy. Like that was the full on wrath. And then we find out that after that the reason Buggy hates Shanks so much is because he foiled his plans and made him accidentally eat a devil fruit. That's basically it. He messed up. He hates Shanks because he got scared and ate the whole devil fruit, and now he can't swim to the bottom of the ocean where treasure is. But you know, the world works in mysterious ways. The world of One Piece is just all sorts of crazy, but it's all good. We see Zoro fight against, what's their names, the little circus guys, and then he basically just does a number on him very easily. Kicks butt. And you know, that was a quick couple of episodes. Actually, that was before even episode 10, because by episode 9 we end up at Usopp's island, and
he's my favorite. Usopp is my favorite, and his island story is also one of my favorites out of all of them so far. Just because Usopp is just a child at heart, you know, it is only he has good intentions with what he does, and he spreads joy, so he's a top fave.
I agree, because it's interesting when it comes to Usopp's island, the way that it leads off with him lying to the entire village that pirates are coming, and nobody even believes him. And then later on, pirates actually came. This is like the boy who cried wolf. But then we find out at the end of that little mini arc is the reason he's done that so much is because of his father. His father was a great pirate. He wanted his father to come back to see him be a great pirate one day, great adventurer one day. So the reason that he's always been saying that was in hopes that his father's crew would come back, so that he would put that into the atmosphere, have his father's crew come back and see him grown up as a good adventurer. And that was pretty neat in my eyes. But during that time on Usopp's island, Luffy and Zoro and Nami, Nami ends up teaming up, joining on the crew for a little bit. Not officially a crew member yet, but just teaming up because she doesn't trust pirates. And we immediately meet Usopp, and we realize from there that Usopp is the son of Yasopp, one of Shanks' crew members from earlier on in the flashback. It all just goes back down to that. It's just another one of those coincidences. Odd how that works. The next island they stumbled upon is the son of a crew member of the person Luffy admired most. And so that ends up happening. We end up meeting Kaya. We end up meeting the butler, who is revealed to be an evil pirate who's been scheming a 5-year-long plan to kill that entire mansion and get all the money that the rich family owns.
That made me so upset because, what was the girl's name again?
Her name was Kaya, and Kaya was Usopp's number one friend.
See, Kaya also was just, there for the ride, enjoying Usopp's stories and things of that sort. And also really liked the people that took care of her and really appreciated them. So for him to turn out to be a pirate that just wants to kill her, this long-winded plan, I feel like that was ridiculous, and it made me very upset. I actually had a visceral, are you flipping kidding me reaction to finding that out. But I mean, of course, he gets beat up, and that's the end of that. So
He does get beat up. He does get beat up. And long story short, the village never realizes that pirates were coming. It was they were stopped at the shore. Usopp wanted to make sure that this time that he warned that the village would be overcome by pirates, he wanted to make sure that this time it would remain a lie. And so the entire crew plus Usopp try to stop them at the shore. They don't make it. They don't make it into the village. The village ends up being safe. Luffy stops Klahadore. Zoro kills the little cow henchmen. What were their gimmicks? I think they were cats. No, yeah, the Meow Band brothers. That's what they were. He ends up stopping their whole technique. Their ship is pretty much wrecked just based off of Django's shenanigans. And none of them had a good time. They got stomped on, really. And for doing such a good job, defending the village, Kaya and her other butler, the good butler, Mary, ended up building a bigger ship for the crew to set sail on. And that's when we see the Going Merry. And that little ship is so precious. And Usopp is like, yeah, I'm gonna go set sail one day too. And Luffy, Zoro, and Nami are like, what the heck are you talking about? Get on this ship. What?
You're one of us, dude.
It's come on, let's go. We gotta go. And Usopp ends up crying, and that he's officially part of the crew now. He's resident sniper. How'd that make you feel?
Very happy, because that's just what he wants to do, and he had that realization that yes, I absolutely do want to be a pirate, and also just being accepted by Luffy and his crew, and having a place that was so wholesome.
I agree. It was a very feels good episode to see him finally be able to set on his adventure and be the great man that he always wanted to be. I feel like Usopp is he's obviously the Pinocchio, he's obviously the liar guy, but I feel like he's more like the lion from Wizard of Oz, in that just he just wants courage. That's it. He's not gonna stop till he gets it. That's all he wants from his big adventure, and I appreciate that a lot. But our next arc, we end up learning a bit about Zoro. Actually, we didn't get Zoro backstory until after those two things.
So you're just gonna skip over the treasure?
Oh yeah, so we do have Gaimon's treasure arc. Do you want to talk about Gaimon's treasure arc? Is that something you want to do?
I just think the island that they were on, it was pretty cool with the people, animals, and also just how he felt safe along with them. I don't know, just another very wholesome episode that we needed along our way, just to kind of have that balance, because I learned with my trial and error with watching anime, it's I've tried Attack on Titan, I'm trying to think of other really bitey anime, so it's not really my style. I also prefer some some wholesome, some kind moments, so that was also very cool. And to also see him again, knowing that just it wasn't a one-off episode, that we do end up seeing him again, just makes him even more important and solid to me. So yeah,
cool. I feel I didn't think you'd had that much to say about Gaimon. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was just gonna be something we get out of the way. However, we watched the episode on Zoro's backstory. We saw that the person he looked up to most was Kuina, the dojo master's daughter. They have an argument about how Zoro will eventually surpass her because she's a girl, but she doesn't want that to happen. Zoro yells back at her and tells her not to downplay herself because he's still trying to get to her level. And so that night, they make a vow to become the greatest swordsman that there ever was. And unfortunately, the next day, Kuina falls down some stairs, and that is the end of Kuina.
Listen. I am so upset by this specifically because there's so much time spent on like their relationship, right? And how like she battled back and forth with like, oh, I do want to be like the greatest like swords person, but at the same time like I'm a girl, and also being told, hey, you're a girl so you'll never be as great as like any dude, even though she completely destroyed all of them consistently at a very young age. Just for her to die the way that she died right after they have such a big moment. I'm not gonna say it seems like a cop-out, but like, because I know One Piece has like a very huge world, X, Y, and Z, but it didn't actually happen. She didn't actually die. I am on the conspiracy theory. I heavily believe that she is actually alive. I don't know why they would like fake her death or assume that she died, but we're gonna see her again. I believe that.
Well, there you have it, folks. My people in the comments who have watched all the way through One Piece. Don't tell her anything. Don't say anything at all. She's gonna learn on her own what's happening, what's happened. And then with that, we're just gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the next arc, the Baratier arc, a very, very wholesome arc where a lot of stuff ends up happening. I didn't realize that so much happened in this arc specifically. Like everything happened at Baratier. So we end up running into Baratier, the restaurant on the sea, where Luffy ends up damaging the restaurant due to a misfire from the Navy. Because of this, our head chef Zeph tells him that he has to work here for 2 weeks in order to pay off his debt. And Luffy agrees to that. We see some shenanigans happen after that. We see our main man Gin come in, very, very starved, just wanting food. All he needed was some food. He didn't have any money. So all the other chefs showed him out, kicked him out. Sanji, however, went to the back where he was and just made him a plate. It was like, you must be starving. To me, anybody who's hungry is a customer. It doesn't matter if you have money or not. And he's like...
You skipped over how we first met Sanji, though. We could... Like, with the Navy head person of the ship coming in, trying to, like, impress his girl. He's like, yeah, let me take you to the finest restaurant on the sea. And then that's how we come to Baratier. And Sanji, you know, who he is as a person, he is immediately infatuated with absolutely every pretty woman that he sees. And essentially, the Navy person tries to, like, embarrass Sanji and embarrass the restaurant and say that the food was terrible, you know, to impress the girl. And then Sanji just kicks his butt. Sanji's like, you know what? No, we're not having that. So that's how we first meet him. So you think like, all right, Sanji doesn't play that. Like, he is about it. He is like to himself, only cares about, you know, the restaurant and cooking. So from that to him, when he meets Gin, to be like, yeah, no, dude, I'm just gonna feed you. I feel like you wouldn't expect that out of him. Like, from the way that we first met him, be like, what? Really? You're gonna give this man a free meal? But once again, it reinforces that at the end of the day, he's just a cook, and he cares about the restaurant, and like those are his two big things.
I see what you're saying. I didn't think of it like that. You know, And that really does put into perspective too, like when we first see Sanji and he ends up kicking the marine head's butt. That's when it's revealed that like this restaurant itself does not play. Like it doesn't even have to be Sanji. Anybody in here will kick your behind if you act up. Act up, you gonna get snatched up. For real. You gonna get thrown out into the water, and the restaurant is gonna float away, and you're gonna be stranded, and that's it. You're gonna have a black eye floating in the sea because you tried to put a bug in your soup and blame it on the restaurant. That's just not how we play over here. Not on Baratier. Nuh-uh. That's not how we do it.
Them's fighting cooks.
Them's is fighting cooks, but it does give you a little juxtaposition about Sanji when Gin is asking for food and nobody's trying to give him any food, except when Sanji goes into the back and says what he says. It kind of gives him a little bit of a relatable aspect to Gin, because he's like, as Gin is eating, he's like, well, even before Gin starts eating, Gin's like, it hurt my pride to accept anything like this from you. And he'd be like, bro, just eat. You're gonna die.
Oh my God.
And so Gin ends up swallowing his pride, eating it. He's like, it tastes good after you haven't had anything else to eat ever, right? Like after it's been days, I bet it tastes amazing. And then you just see Gin just crying his eyes out. He's like, yo, I was really going to die. I don't know how I can repay you. I have a captain not down the road, but like I have a captain like who's a little ways away on our ship that's almost damaged and beyond repair, and we just need a little bit of food for him too. Is it okay if I tell him about this place? He has the money to pay for it. And Sanji says yeah. So he brings him on through and ends up being a very, very cold-hearted pirate.
His captain's a butthole.
His captain, Don Krieg, comes in, and everybody seems to know Don Krieg.
Yeah, I was surprised. Not saying, I don't know, I just wasn't expecting like people to know because, it's a restaurant floating on the sea. But I guess they see a whole bunch of different people. So,
Yeah.
made his name.
He did make a name. He was known to be in the Grand Line with like 50,000 followers, and also known for never keeping his word. So they were very hesitant on giving this man food of all people. But I believe it's Zeph. Is it Zeph? It's either Zeph or Sanji that ends up feeding this man. And after eating, he immediately punches them in the face. And they're just like, what? He's like, as if I'd keep my word. I'm taking this pirate restaurant. My 50,000 followers got all sliced up. We got to go back into the Grand Line. We have to prepare before we go back into the Grand Line. And it's quite ironic, I feel, that he said that right as the person who took down his entire fleet seems to show up from behind and just cut his boat in half, clean in half. It was a very big boat. It's gone now. The boat is gone. And that's where we meet Hawkeye's Mihawk, and we find out he's literally the greatest swordsman in the One Piece world. He's the greatest swordsman and one of the 7 warlords of the sea. From there, Zoro ends up challenging him, and Mihawk freaking says, "Oh, I didn't expect to fight a weakling like you. I got a pocket knife. I don't have anything smaller. I'm sorry. This is what I'll just have to use this against your 3-sword style." And so they duke it out, and Mihawk dusts this man, and Zoro acknowledges that he just got dusted. So he goes and faces him. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Scars on the back, our swordsman's shame. And Mihawk is like, you know what? I've been calling you small fry this entire time. But I'm sorry, I was wrong. I'm gonna use the big blade for such a strong warrior like you. And he cuts this man up, but he's still alive. And that's, it was so good. That's when Zoro devotes himself to Luffy entirely. He says the Pirate King needs nothing less than the strongest swordsman, right? Pirate King? And Luffy's like, yeah, you right.
Honestly, the whole thing with Mihawk at first, it took a while for me to like actually have that sink in. At first, like, I didn't understand it. I was like, oh, this guy kind of sucks. Like, you know, we had to kind of like talk it through. So I was like, all right. So first he fights Zoro with like the tiniest knife that he has on him, and then cuts him up, and it's like a sign of respect. I'm like, no, he's terrible. I think after like talking it through with you, it's like, oh, that's just, you know, the way of the swordsman. It's like tough love, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was also very nice to see Zoro's like dedication to Luffy. And it's like, yeah, no, dude, I'm gonna be right beside you, and I'm gonna try to be the very best that no one ever was.
It was cool too. It was also Mihawk actually leaving him alive, as if to say, you know, don't, he literally straight up said, don't ever lose again. If you want to get to my level, don't even lose to me ever again. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. No, I'm playing. But from there, Mihawk, he was like, all right, I came and did what I wanted to do. I got cut up the ship. I'm out. And that was like weird, because I don't remember it happening all on Baratie, like in the middle of that art. But like he just kind of showed up and dipped. But that's cool. At the end of the day, they get back to fighting Don Krieg and his goons. We see Sanji uses his foot techniques after Redfoot Zeph, and we realize that they both use the foot techniques because they don't like to use their hands in battle. Their hands are for cooking. So to use your hands in such a battle, you can't harm your hands, basically. You know, you gotta cook. You gotta be able to cook at all times. And so that happens. Sanji ends up fighting against Gin. Gin is reluctantly fighting because of his captain. And Don Krieg is just like, he's just a jerk. He's really just a jerk. Like, Luffy ends up fighting him, and really it's just all about the weapons that Don Krieg ends up using. Do you want to say something while you're looking at me like that?
No, I keep showing you the backstory for Sanji.
I was gonna get into it.
Okay.
You want to get into it right now?
Well, all right. My biggest thing with Sanji's backstory, I know you're probably going to explain it, but my problem is, where are his parents? Does he have parents? Where does he come from? Because, like, you see little Sanji just on a ship with cooks, like, already kind of like as a small child. And, you know, they're talking about the combination of all four of the seas to the one.
Blue.
Yeah, to the all blue. And you're like, oh, how cute. Like, this is something he still believes in. Even though they told him very clearly, like, hey, yeah, no, this doesn't exist. But, you know, it's a child's dream. But where are his parents? Where is he from? Like, I thought that Zeph was his dad. And it's like, no, he was just on the ship. I need to know.
So, audience, anyone in the comment section, don't say anything. Literally, do not. She will find out on her own.
It's like 900 episodes, so go.
Brie, it's
Yes.
okay. You will find out when you find out if there's something to be found out. And that's that. And so basically, I'm just gonna move on from that entirely so you don't ask any other questions. So Don Krieg is talking about he's the strongest in the East Blue because of all his weapons and stuff. He got like a little exploding spear, and Luffy just keeps punching him in the face. And Luffy with his brute strength just beats him up, breaks his armor, breaks his spear. It's just knocking him around. And like, honestly, it kind of proves that without all of his weapons, he's just a guy. He's not anything without his materials. Like, I don't know. Did you have any thoughts about the Don Krieg and Luffy fight?
Also, like with Luffy, it's kind of like he does the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome, like even when it doesn't work. And you see that more than once with like multiple fights. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna, do the whole like Gatling punch thing, and that's gonna work. And it usually, like, it hardly works. I won't say like it doesn't work, but it hardly works. Only in this case it was to his advantage to keep hitting him to break.
Hey, future Kenny here. So we stumbled across a problem and lost a lot of audio. So what BabyBrie was saying was that it was to Luffy's advantage to just try relentlessly to attack and just punch. And I tried to correct that in saying that it was more so that Luffy was not attacking relentlessly, but trying to prove that his brute strength versus Don Krieg's weapons, like there's a clear winner in that situation. Whose spear is stronger, mine or yours? Luffy proved that his was stronger by breaking like literally all of his gadgets and proving that without all the armor and things to hide behind, Don Krieg is just a guy. But sadly, we lost quite a lot of sound. We lost the files for just the entire Arlong Park arc, but it was very emotional. Bree loved it. We cried when Nami was crying out for help. It was wow, it was a sight to behold. But unfortunately, we do not have this audio file anymore. I don't know where it went. I apologize, and please bear with us, but we do come back right about here. And we're back once again. We were talking about basically how Nami managed to get her funds back for the village, and she decided to have the gold that she stored up be for the village. So on her way out, as she's about to head on to the cruise ship for their departure, she doesn't want to say goodbye to anyone. She doesn't want to have like that sappy ending, so she dashes past everyone waiting for her at the village, and she tells Luffy to set sail, and she'll jump on the boat as it's in motion. And she successfully does this, and the whole village is like, dude, what the heck? And then it's revealed that she stole all their wallets, and now the whole village is like, dude, what the heck? And it's just like a fun little thing she's doing, like, just, hey, I'm not really finished stealing all this money. But it didn't matter at the end of the day, because like there's near 100 million berries for the village to do whatever they want with. And so that's how they end up setting out, and their next destination from there ends up being Log Town. And Log Town, really great arc in such like a small amount of episodes. We run into Captain Smoker, who is just the like main defense against people in the East Blue trying to get to the Grand Line. Like all these pirates trying to make their way always end up stopping at Log Town in the East Blue. It is a tourist point because it's where the great pirate king Gold Roger lived and died. He was born there and he died there. And so the whole crew ends up stopping there. We need to get supplies. Luffy wants to see where the great pirate king was executed. Zoro needs some swords. Sanji needs some more materials to cook with. And Usopp even ends up finding himself some new scoping goggles to snipe with. You know what I'm saying? And it was a cool little tidbit. We run into like a whole bunch of new characters. We got Captain Smoker and his underling Tashigi, who Zoro runs into, who looks a lot like Kuina for some reason. And after running into her, he gets into some shenanigans, and long story short, they end up at a sword shop to get Zoro his new swords. He finds himself a cursed blade, and the shopkeep is like, dude, don't buy that one. The reason I sell it for so cheap is because it's cursed and no swordsman should ever want it. But Zoro's like, all right, let's see what's greater, this sword's curse or my luck. And he throws the sword in the air, sticks his hand out where he threw it, and just waits. And the shopkeep and Tashigi are both stunned as like the sword just avoids his arm. And then the shopkeep is like, yo, take this sword for free. I have a sword in the back. It's my prized possession. Take it and run, because you are an anomaly that I have not seen in a long time, and you need to take these items with you. Did you want to say anything about that? Nothing at all. Okay, that's cool. Then we have Sanji, who ends up going to find fish materials, ends up running into this crazy lady who has apparently been, oh gosh, my cat is on the, oh goodness, she's
That, like, touchy?
I guess so. All right, hold on, she's gonna knock some stuff down. Oh jeez.
I guess in the meantime, I'm gonna say it. Logtown was probably the most boring arc out of all of the arcs. I'll say it. I found myself falling asleep the most, or not really paying attention during this part. There was really nothing for me here. Granted, you had some cool moments like Usopp and the guy that he was facing off with that he didn't mean to face off with. And then you hear the backstory of how he was also on the ship with his dad. And I forget now. We are so past it.
And Daddy the father? You don't remember Daddy the father? Daddy the parent?
Remind me.
He was the sniper that Usopp went up against and that Yasopp beat. And he was unrivaled everywhere else. And he didn't tell anybody about that one defeat he had against Yasopp. And that's how Usopp earned his goggles in a sniping contest with this man. And it just it went towards Usopp's growth, made him become a little bit of a better person. Meanwhile, Buggy the Clown and an old friend Alvida from episode 1 show up. And Alvida's eating a devil fruit. We find out she has the smooth fruit. Everything slips off of her skin. That's freaking insane. And Captain Smoker ends up wrangling all these pirates at the execution platform as Buggy comes in and tries to execute Luffy on the execution platform.
Almost does it, too.
Almost does it, right? But all of a sudden, there's a crazy storm brewing. Like, what in the world is going on? Like, Nami looks up and she's like, what the heck is happening? And you see the winds moving, the wind pressure's getting crazy low, the black clouds are falling in, and all of a sudden, as Buggy's swinging the sword down, lightning strikes him. And the whole execution platform topples. Before that, Luffy tells his crewmates he's gonna die. He's sorry, but I'm dead. And he smiles and like it's the end. And Smoker is just taken aback. He's like, why did he smile? What is going on? It's like fate is trying to keep this man alive. Why? And he really thought he was dead. Like, the only person that smiled before before they died was the Pirate King himself. And it's just taking Smoker aback. And so now, as he's running away, now that he's free from Buggy's little grasp on the execution platform, they're taking off. It's raining, it's pouring now. The wind is just blowing all over the place, and they're all trying to get back onto the ship to head out because Smoker, like I said, had surrounded the execution platform. So now that they're trying to run away, Captain Smoker cuts them off, and we find out that he's eaten the plume plume fruit, which means he's a man made of smoke, and Luffy literally cannot touch him. And it looks bleak for him at this point. Everyone else has gotten onto the ship except for Luffy and Smoker, until all of a sudden the wind blows even more and somebody grabs Smoker's hand before he can deliver a finishing blow to Luffy. And Smoker looks up at him and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, it's not his time yet. It's not Luffy's time yet. And Smoker looks up at he's still looking up to this man. He's like, "You're the most wanted man. You're on the Navy's most wanted list." He just smiles. And we figure out that his name is Dragon. We don't know what he's doing here. Like, he basically rescues Luffy from this whole shenanigan, and freaking the wind blows and whooshes Smoker away, and Luffy manages to escape. And you're telling me that was boring?
It was the most uneventful. Like that, it was like, cool to see, but I feel like compared to everything that we've seen prior, it was the most like, all right, last stop, let's get to the good stuff in the Grand Line. Also, it made me very upset that the scene between Smoker and Luffy did not finish like their fight, because it's like, all right, this is someone that Luffy cannot once again like easily beat. Let's see what he can do. So
I understand that, but had the fight not finished, actually, I don't think Luffy would have made it out of it. I feel like literally that plume plume fruit makes you untouchable. So it's crazy.
But they plan to meet again, because now Smoker and Toshiki are going after them. They're also leaving their island to go chase them down. So we'll see.
We will see. I'm just astounded that you found this part to be not that crazy. It provide a little bit of backstory about Captain Gould Roger and his little escapades. We got a little backstory about Shanks's crew, and just that man Dragon for me is just like, his little speech at the end as the ship sails off is like, "Pirate, that's what you want to do? Goodbye me, that's okay." I was like, what is going on?
You want to know why he saved Luffy, but at the same, like, I feel like we'll just see, there's nothing.
We will see. And the fight isn't finished at this point, and we'll see what happens. Honestly, we have a couple more episodes to go, and that's it for the arc. At that point, we're not doing the Appi's arc. We're not. That's just filler. That's just filler. That's what we skipped. I didn't feel like it's very counter to what happens later on in the show, just based off of what they have going on in that arc. So we decided to skip that one. And yeah, do you have any other words about Logtown besides that you thought it was
Nah.
Wow.
Didn't do what it was like supposed to do for me. Especially like just coming out of Arlong Park, and like how heavy, how emotional that was, and how much like everyone grew in that short like span of time, versus Logtown, where it's kind of just like recuperating, I guess, you know.
But that's what you need, Well, I guess we will wrap things up here. This is The next time we will talk, it will be after we've seen the crew enter the Grand Line and after we've finished the Alabasta arc.
Oh, so they did get there. Spoiler.
What did you, what? It's, oh.
So that means that's gonna be a long one.
Listen. There's
called the Alabasta arc, then yeah, it's gonna be a long one.
It is a saga that we will get through, and we will talk about it with the fans once we're finished. Thank you to everyone who watched up to this point, even if you just had it in the background. And if you have anything, any points we missed, leave a comment. If you like what you see, give us a little subscribe, if you did, or don't. If you don't want to, that's fine as well. Yeah, I've been Kenny Sprite. This has been BabyBrie, and we are out of here.